The Data AutoFilter is an extremely useful tool, and if you have never used it before, I highly recommend that you look at our video clip on the AutoFilter basics. In this video clip, however, we are going to show you how to use the Data AutoFilter to clean up a list of data for further reporting or summarizing on. In this example, we have a report from an IT system which shows the performance of our salespeople. We would like to summarize and graph this information, but the report has generated headers and footers which get in the way to using Excel's features properly. The AutoFilter feature will allow you to quickly clean up the data, but before you do anything, you must follow the two cardinal rules of manipulating data. You must establish and document a control total. In this case, at the bottom of the report, we have a grand total amount. This will ensure that as you manipulate the data, you don't add or lose any bits of information. You must make a copy of the data and keep it safe from manipulation, because you never know when something can go wrong and you need to get back to the original data. To activate the Data AutoFilter, you highlight the data that is relevant to the exercise, and you click Data, Filter, AutoFilter, and the arrows will appear. You can now start the cleanup operation. Have a look at the report and just know in your mind what information you're looking to keep and what information you're looking to get rid of. Then when you click on the arrow, you'll be shown all the information that currently exists in that column, and you can start working through it. So these dotted lines, if we highlight them all, you'll see they're brought up. You can highlight them, delete the row, and when you go back, they will have been removed. You can continue working through the items individually, or else you can click on the custom option and you can say show me the items where it equals, and we'll take the first dotted lines, or where it equals, let's say example company. When you click OK, those items will be pulled up. I advise you just page down and just make sure that data that is important to you is not included in here, because IT reports are not always consistent. When you are happy that all those items can be deleted, you just highlight the section, you delete the row. When you go back to all, you'll see that slowly but surely your information is being cleaned up. Another clever use for the custom function is you'll see that here we have page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you had to go through and individually highlight each one, it would take a bit of time. What you rather can do then is go to custom. When you click on the options, you'll see that as you work down, you'll find one that says contains. In this case, anything that contains the word page you want to see, and there you'll have all the items that contain page which appear to not contain any other data that we need. So you can highlight them and delete the row, and now those items will also be removed. Looking through the report, you may have noticed that at the bottom of each page there seems to be a maximum and minimum row which just repeats the information above. As it contains what could be information that's important if you just looked in this column, what you could do is click in the other column and highlight, in this case, all the maximums and delete them, and then all the minimums. Or you could have used the custom feature and highlighted maximum or minimum, and that will remove all those items. You may also want to delete these blank rows. This can easily be achieved. If you click on the arrows, at the very bottom you'll see an option saying highlight the blanks. If you click on it, it brings up any cell in this column that is blank. Now you'll see we've got subtotal here. We know that we don't need these. However, just an example, if this was important to you, you could then go here, click on that arrow and say show me the blanks here. So now wherever the column, this cell is blank and that cell is blank is highlighted, you can then highlight the selected rows, delete them, and when you see them all again, you'll see all the blank rows have been removed. If you continue with this process of highlighting what you don't need and deleting the rows, you will eventually end up with something that looks like this, and you can finally eliminate the last few items and when you look at all information, it'll be nicely set up in a format that Excel handles well. If you want, you can just delete this top row. As a final check, you should go to the bottom and do a quick sum and just make sure that your control total that you've come up with is equal to the control total of the original information. And if that is correct, you can then work on this data, generate your graphs, pivot tables, or summaries that you require.